fires that we keep seeing.
Yeah, in certain situations, they might need protection. They might need police to go in first and clear the way. I don't know how blocked the streets are there, but yeah, we saw that one fire. And we also saw that car that was torched, that vehicle earlier, just go up in flames. So we've seen a couple of fires here and there. Nothing like we saw last night, and hopefully it won't happen, but we're 15 minutes away from the countywide curfew going into effect, and yet we're still seeing these businesses here that you see right here on the left-hand side of your screen being looted. A couple of them there, Jonathan and Gil, where we saw cars driving up and people coming out and taking what they could.
It amazes me how many people continue to pour out of this pharmacy, though, or what we believe to be a pharmacy here. It is just incredible because this is several blocks, I believe about 5 blocks from where most of the police activity that we've seen are trying to stop looters along 4th Street. This is along 9th Court and Broadway, and they're nowhere near this scene. And as you mentioned, there you go, Kathy, they coordinate this, they come in cars, they kind of time it, and then they drive away, and we see one person here who appears to maybe be a civilian, someone who's just on the street, standing there, just kind of watching everything unfold, wondering what's going on. But again, you see how widespread this is now. It makes it unbelievably difficult, if not nearly impossible, for police to patrol every single block here. Yeah,
we heard from Sheriff Villanueva that is why they wanted this curfew in effect county-wide, because, you know, they're dealing with hotspots all over the place, and they're getting, you know, intel and hearing on social media about gatherings happening. And so every time we've seen a gathering, unfortunately, even if it has the best intentions and it's peaceful, you have these other groups that hear about it too, and then they show up and they take this opportunity to go in and to break into the stores and to loot, and are really quite good and systematic at it. As we said, they're now using cars and they can get away quickly, and we really haven't seen many people actively being arrested as a result of this.
No, we really haven't, and it's because police have been stretched so thin. On one hand, they've been monitoring the protests, the peaceful protests that have been happening, and asking them to disperse. On the other hand, they've been trying to keep the 3rd Street Promenade protected. They've been trying to keep the mall protected, and here it is, a Goodwill just a few blocks away from the mall here on 6th and Santa Monica, a very popular Goodwill. I can attest. There's actually some actual high-end items in this Goodwill that they keep kind of separate, and the front end's completely shattered. People are walking out with boxes of stuff, and it's just absolute lawlessness happening right now.
All right, we're going to check in with NBC4's Darsha Phillips. She has been out today monitoring the situation and looking at what's going on around the county. Darsha, where are you?
Well, Kathy, we are staying away from the protests because of the safety issue, but we are seeing a lot of tough images coming out from some of the areas where those demonstrations have dissolved into civil unrest. Now, I do want to mention the majority of these protests have remained peaceful. It is a few of these bad actors, if you will, that have caused some civil unrest and civil disobedience. We do want to show you some video from the ground, from cell phone footage. This is video that shows an Amazon truck being taken over and looted. You also see a woman being thrown down to the ground. It's not clear if that woman is the driver of that Amazon truck. We have not been able to confirm that just yet. And you see several people begin to steal packages out of the back of that van. Just unbelievable video of a very dangerous situation in parts of Santa Monica that is continuing right now. Now, we are not reporting again from the ground because of these safety reasons. We have reached out to several people who have been in the middle of all of this that have shot video on their cell phones. Here's a look at some of that video as it continues. Cameras were rolling as a fight appears to break out among people demonstrating in Santa Monica. Other footage shows people running through the streets, damaging fences and property. And video shot by a civilian shows the Van store in Santa Monica being vandalized and looted. Again, this does not represent the majority of protesters. I did speak with a peaceful protester who was out there earlier. She says she tried to stop several people from tagging businesses.
We're fighting for a man who lost his life in the streets. This was not their opportunity to mess this up and blame it on us. And I knew that if the news was to get that footage of just the graffiti, I knew the face that they were going to put on that. and it was going to be a face that looked like mine. And the truth was that was not the case. So I had to say something.
Now, this is video of Nia Duckett confronting those people tagging the Starbucks. She believes they were agitators and not part of the larger peaceful demonstrations. Duckett is part of Black Lives Matter and says that their message is one of peaceful resistance. She does not condone this violence. However, she says she does understand the anger and frustration felt by so many Black people right now. And Kathy, Jonathan, I do want to say one thing that struck a chord is that she said that progress is the only way that we are going to eradicate these images that we're seeing on our television screens right now. We have to fight for social justice, and we have to fight for progress. We'll send it back to you guys.
On social media earlier today, it was very powerful. She was asking those women not to paint them, Black Lives Matter, in a dark light. All right, as we continue right now, we want to go to Rick Montanez. We know, Rick, that 1,000 National Guardsmen and women are now assigned to cover Los Angeles County, 500 of them working in the city of LA alone. We know you have a little bit more on that. Rick, what can you tell us?
Yeah, and Jonathan, we heard from Sheriff Alex Villanueva talk about the 500 National Guard troops that are here for Los Angeles County. He made that request yesterday. Today, we heard from LA Mayor Eric Garcetti talking about the 500 National Guard troops that he requested for the city of Los Angeles. Right now, what they're doing is we've seen video from them being deployed to the steps of City Hall, but LA Mayor Eric Garcetti and LA Police Chief Michael Moore say that these troops will be deployed to a lot of areas that are unsecure. They want to focus on trying to get officers back on the street to try and restore peace. A response the city of Los Angeles has not seen in years. 500 troops from the National Guard activated to Southern California, called upon for the civil unrest that is bringing demonstrations, protests, and vandalism reminiscent of the early 1990s.
And it's a heavy decision. Military uniform.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti and Police Chief Michael Moore today from City Hall saying they called the Guard in while the LAPD is on full department call out.
We mobilized our entire organization in a matter that has not happened in more than 30 years.
As protests continue across Southern California, the National Guard is working to deploy to areas deemed unsecure.
These actions are intended to protect our neighbors,